Church Fellowship Hall, Tuesday evening. Emily stood before 30 witnesses, holding her white wedding binder. "The greatest wedding gift you could give me," she said, "is to disappear from our family forever." I looked at Karen, she met my eyes and nodded. I stood. All right. Walked out. Sold the house. Cancelled the $47,000 in wedding funding. If this hook got you, subscribe so you catch every new story. I met Karen 12 years ago at the grocery store. She was counting change for milk while 16-year-old Emily waited in the car. Single mother, struggling. Her ex-husband had walked out when Emily was 7, leaving them in a cramped one-bedroom apartment where Emily slept on the couch. I saw a chance to build something stable, a family. 6 months later, I bought the house. 3 bedrooms, decent neighborhood, mortgage in my name only. Standard practice for IBEW guys. Protect your assets. Keep things clean. The credit union put only Thomas Gallagher on the deed. Karen never asked about it. She was too busy picking paint colors. I drove Emily to school every morning for 3 years. Made breakfast. Fixed the leaky faucet in her bathroom. Helped with college applications. Paid $2,400 in application fees across 14 schools. Taught her to drive in empty parking lots on Sunday afternoons, patient through her frustration. Never asked her to call me Dad. Hoped she would choose it on her own. She didn't. I attended every graduation, every birthday, every milestone Karen documented in photo albums that somehow never included me. Built $127,000 in equity over 12 years through steady mortgage payments from my electrician's paycheck. 34 years with IBEW Local 98. Good union work. Reliable income. Karen decorated. 7 magazine subscriptions. Better Homes and Gardens, Country Living, Architectural Digest. She'd rearrange furniture quarterly, repaint rooms annually, always with my money. I kept the receipts in a fireproof file box. Every mortgage payment, every home improvement, every dollar I invested in building our life, I kept weather journals. 20 years of daily observations in leather-bound notebooks. Temperature, barometric pressure, cloud formations. Patterns that follow predictable rules. Some things are worth recording, I told Karen once. Even if nobody else sees the pattern. Daily presence builds permanent bonds. I believed that. I was wrong about that. The pattern started 3 years ago when Emily was 25. Emily's biological father, Brad, sent a text. Just checking in. She treasured it like a handwritten letter from someone important. He'd abandoned her at 7. Sent maybe 10 texts in 20 years. But those texts meant more than my 3,000 mornings driving her to school. I notice everything. Comes with the electrical work. You learn to spot problems before they become failures. Emily's Instagram account had 4,300 photos spanning 12 years. I appeared in 5, always cropped to the edge. Tagged reluctantly when someone else posted family photos. She accepted everything I provided. Boutique fitness classes at $40 per session. College tuition assistance. Car insurance. Never questioned the source. Never said thank you. Karen enabled it. "You know how she is," she'd say when I mentioned feeling erased. Then she'd show me another Pinterest board for the living room redesign. Family dinners followed a pattern. Emily discussed Brad's latest text while I cleared dishes. My real father thinks I should consider graduate school. Karen would nod, engaged. I'd load the dishwasher. The engagement happened 8 months ago. Emily gushed about Jason, about the wedding, about how her family was so supportive. She meant Karen and the fantasy of Brad walking her down the aisle. I started depositing money into the joint account for the wedding. $47,000 over 8 months. Emily compiled her white binder vendor contracts, payment schedules, fabric swatches. Photographer, $4,200. Caterer, $12,800. Venue, $8,500. Florist, band, dress alterations. Never asked where the funding came from. I watched her build dreams on my foundation while pretending I didn't exist. Karen watched too, choosing Emily's approval over my dignity every single time. The wedding was 56 days away when Emily made her request in the fellowship hall. I hadn't planned the timing, but I'd built the foundation. I knew exactly how to remove it. The fellowship hall basement smelled like coffee and old hymnals. Same room that hosted our wedding reception 10 years ago. Fluorescent lights, folding tables arranged in a U shape. Pastor Margaret sat at the head with wedding planning materials. 32 congregation members scattered around, volunteers helping with ceremony logistics. Emily held her white binder like a shield. "We're finalizing the processional," she said. "My father will walk me down the aisle." A volunteer raised her hand. "Where does Tom fit in the ceremony?" Emily's smile didn't waver. "Actually, I have something to ask Tom." The room went quiet. "The greatest wedding gift you could give me is to disappear from our family forever. I want my authentic family narrative. Just me, Mom, and my real father." I sat there, didn't blink. 30 seconds of silence while everyone watched. Looked at Karen, expected her to object. She met my eyes, gave a small, deliberate nod. That nod ended the marriage. Not anger, clarity. I stood. Perfect posture from decades of ladder work. "All right," I said. Quietest voice I've ever used. Walked out, sat in my F-150 smelling copper wire and leather. The only space that belonged entirely to me. Pulled out my phone, texted my sister Rita. "Remember that contingency plan we discussed? It's time." Her response came immediately. "Are you sure?" I typed 2 letters, "Yes." Then I drove to the credit union. Wednesday morning. Cheryl Bannister looked up when I walked into her office. She'd handled my accounts for 18 years. "Tom, what can I do for you?" "Need to review my mortgage documents." She pulled up my file. Thick folder documenting nearly 2 decades of steady deposits, conservative financial management. "Here's the deed." I looked at the document I'd signed 12 years ago. One name, Thomas Gallagher. "Karen's not on it," I said. "No. Standard loan structure. You were the sole purchaser." "Pennsylvania law?" "Sole ownership of marital property is legal if the deed names only one spouse. You can sell without her permission." The tension in my shoulders eased. "The joint checking account?" Cheryl scrolled through records. "Your primary account holder. All deposits from your paychecks. The wedding fund, $47,000, came from this account. So I can withdraw it? Without her approval? Yes. It's joint access, but you control the income flow." I thanked her, sat in my truck, called Rita. "The house is in my name only," I said. "The wedding money is mine to withdraw." "What are you going to do?" "What I should have done years ago. Value myself." She was quiet. "Then you owe them nothing, Tom. Remember that." I reviewed the vendor contract terms I'd photographed from Emily's binder, flipped through each cancellation clause. Most went non-refundable at 60 days. I counted forward from today. 56 days until the wedding. The timing wasn't planned, but it was perfect. Too late for refunds. Too early for completed services. Emily would lose every deposit and every vendor. Systematic thinking. Same approach I used for electrical work. Identify the problem. Remove the faulty component. Not revenge. Just removing the foundation I'd built. They wanted me to disappear? All right. Wednesday evening. I walked into the house I'd purchased 12 years ago. Karen was painting the living room. Sage green from Better Homes and Gardens. Drop cloths on the floor, paint on her hands. Acting like the fellowship hall meeting never happened. Emily's white binder sat on the coffee table. "Tom," Karen smiled. "Can we talk about Sunday?" Emily didn't mean, "I visited the credit union this morning." Her smile collapsed. "The mortgage deed lists only my name. Pennsylvania law allows sole ownership of marital property. I can sell without your permission." Paint roller frozen in her hand. "I've withdrawn authorization for all wedding vendor payments. 47,000 in deposits. 56 days until the wedding. Maximum cancellation penalty window." What are you? Too late for refunds. Too early for completed services. Every vendor keeps their deposit. Every contract fails. The front door opened. Emily walked in, still wearing work clothes. "What's going on?" I looked at her. "You asked me to disappear from your family forever. All right, I'm granting your wish. This is my wedding. You can't. Built on my money. Funded by the man you wanted, erased. You're being selfish. The house sells in 30 days. The wedding fund is withdrawn. You wanted your authentic family narrative. Now you have it." Her face went white. I walked to the kitchen, left my house keys on the counter beside her white binder, went to my truck, grabbed my weather journals from the garage. 20 years of observations. The one thing I did purely for myself. Karen stood in the doorway. "Where will you go?" "Somewhere I'm valued for who I am, not what I provide." Drove away from 12 years of investment. Felt lighter with every mile. The vendor cancellations started arriving within 48 hours. Photographer first. Contract clause clear. Cancellations within 60 days, forfeit all deposits. $4,200. Gone. Caterer sent formal notice. 12,800 kept. Date already booked for another event. Venue coordinator called Emily directly. 8,500 non-refundable. The date released. Florist. Band. Dress alterations. Every contract had the same 60-day penalty clause. 47,000 in deposits. Nothing to show for it. Emily's Instagram went dark. First time in years. No way to curate this disaster into content. Karen discovered the house listing online. Charming 3-bedroom ranch, $340K, seller motivated, 30-day close. The sage green paint she'd just applied? for strangers to enjoy. Pastor Margaret explained to the congregation what she'd witnessed in the fellowship hall. Emily's demand. Karen's nod. My quiet departure. The same community that witnessed my humiliation now understood the foundation I'd built and removed. Karen's friends asked pointed questions. How could you nod agreement to erasing a man who built everything? Emily's biological father sent a text, can't make the wedding after all. There was no wedding, but his message revealed what I'd known for 12 years. Brad's participation was always conditional, always fantasy. Jason postponed setting a new date, told Emily he needed time to think. 8 weeks after the fellowship hall meeting, the wedding date arrived. No ceremony, no reception, no Instagram photos of Emily in her dress, just empty calendar space where her curated dreams used to be. Karen and Emily remained in the house until closing. Surrounded by furniture arrangements and decorating magazines that meant nothing without my foundation. The congregation that witnessed my erasure now understood what they'd taken for granted. Steady presence, daily investment, 12 years of showing up, gone. If my revenge got you invested, hit like and speak up below. 6 months later, I live in a modest apartment near the Union Hall. 1 bedroom, clean, organized. Weather journals arranged on the shelf beside the kitchen window. Saturday morning, 7:30. I sit with coffee and my current journal. Fountain pen, leather binding, 42 degrees. Pressure rising. Cirrus clouds moving east-northeast. Patterns that follow predictable rules. My life shows measurable improvements. The mortgage was $2,800. Rent is $1,200 monthly. Savings rebuild at $3,400 per month without supporting Karen and Emily. I date occasionally. Patricia, a 52-year-old nurse I met at the Union Hall, asks about my weather journals. Wants to understand the patterns. First person in years who asked about something I care about. Rita visits monthly. Our relationship strengthened by my willingness to finally value myself. Pastor Margaret sent a letter. The congregation's belated recognition of my years of faithful service. My quiet dignity. Karen contacted me once. Can we work things out? Same passive language. Same deflection. No, I said. Same calm I used in the fellowship hall. She moved to a smaller rental. Emily postponed her wedding indefinitely after Jason questioned her character. Emily never contacted me. Her Instagram resumed eventually. Carefully curated content, erasing the failed wedding entirely. I don't hate them, don't feel much of anything about them anymore. I record the morning weather, 42 degrees, pressure rising. Cirrus clouds moving east-northeast. Patterns that follow predictable rules. Spent 12 years believing daily presence built permanent bonds. Learned the hard way that some people value mystique over showing up. You can't make people see your worth if they're determined to take it for granted. Sometimes you have to stop being available. I return to my journal, finding peace in patterns that follow rules.